Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Krishna Chaitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on December 22nd, 2021 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Bangun Langai Tegirim
Yati Patavan Vande
Sri Guru Dhinatarinam
Paramananda Madhavam
Sri Chaitanya Meeswaram.
Harihi Om Tat Sat.
The compilation of Sri Chaitanya book,
Chapter
part 2, 6 kinds of Atma Ramas. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 24.126.
জিজ্ঞাসু মুমুক্ষু সনকাদির শুদ্ধ ভক্ত সঙ্গে মুমুক্ষু ত্যাগ নারদের সঙ্গে সনকাদি মুনিগণ মুমুক্ষা ছাড়িয়া কইলা কৃষ্ণের ভজন.
By associating with the great saint Narada, Saunaka and other great sages gave up the desire for liberation and engaged in Krishna's devotional service.
The association with a pure devotee of Krishna.
The association with the pure devotee of Krishna
is so powerful
that
one can give up the Brahman realization desire.
That one can give up the Brahman realization desire
and engage in pure devotional service for Lord Krishna.
And engage in pure devotional service for Lord Krishna.
Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 24.127. কখনো কৃষ্ণ দর্শনে কখনো কৃষ্ণ কৃপায় মুমুক্ষা ত্যাগের শুদ্ধ ভক্তি লাভ. কৃষ্ণের দর্শনে কারো কৃষ্ণেরও কৃপায় মুমুক্ষা ছাড়িয়া গুণে ভজে তার পায়. Simply by meeting Krishna or receiving Krishna's special favor, one can give up the desire for liberation. Being attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna, one can engage in his service.
Four Kumars went to Vishnaloka and saw Lord Vishnu, the expansion of Krishna.
The four Kumars went to Vishnaloka and saw Lord Vishnu,
The expansion of Krishna.
expansion of Krishna.
And they became inspired to render devotional service.
And they became inspired to render devotional service.
Knowing the aroma of Tulsi offered to his lotus feet.
Smelling the aroma of Tulsi offered to his lotus feet. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 24.128. শুদ্ধ কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি লাভে পূর্ব অর্চিত জ্ঞান প্রয়াসে খেদ. ভক্তি রসামৃতের সিন্ধু 3.14.
Asmin sukagana murtau paramatmeni vrishnipathena spurati atma ramataya me vrita gotho phatacharankhala.
In this Dwaraka Dham, I am being attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is personified spiritual bliss. Simply by seeing him, I am feeling great happiness. Oh, I have wasted so much time trying to become self-realized through impersonal cultivation. This is a cause for lamentation. Purport: this verse is found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 3.1.34.
Someone who was pursuing the impersonal philosophical speculations have.
Someone who was pursuing the impersonal philosophical path,
when he actually saw Krishna, he felt attracted.
When he actually saw Krishna, he felt attracted.
He thought that he had been wasting his time in pursuing impersonal realization.
He thought that he'd been wasting his time in pursuing impersonal realization.
And became a pure devotee of Lord Krishna.
And became a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.129.
জীবিত জীবন মুক্ত মুক্ত অনেক সেই দুই ভেদ জানি ভক্তে জীবন মুক্ত জ্ঞানে জীবন মুক্ত মানি.
There are many people who are liberated even in this lifetime. Some are liberated by discharging devotional service, and others are liberated through the philosophical speculative process.
One is fully realized by Bhakti Yoga or by Jnana Yoga.
One is fully realized either by Bhakti Yoga or by Jnana Yoga.
They realize they are considered liberated even while alive.
They are considered liberated even in their mortal life.
Even while they are alive.
Even while they are alive. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.130.
ভক্তি ফলে জীবন মুক্ত অবরোহী পন্থী ভক্তের কৃষ্ণ সেবানন্দ লাভ. জ্ঞান ফলে আরোহী আরোহপন্থী মুক্ত অভিমানীর অধোগতি. ভক্তে জীবন মুক্ত গুণাকৃষ্ট হইয়া কৃষ্ণ ভজে শুষ্ক জ্ঞানে জীবন মুক্ত অপরাধে অধমজে.
Those who are liberated by devotional service become more and more attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna. Thus, they engage in his service. Those who are liberated by the speculative process eventually fall down again due to offensive activity.
Well, from this, you can understand
So from this we can understand
that the liberation enjoyed by the philosophical speculators
that the liberation enjoyed by the philosophical speculators
who merge into the impersonal Brahman
who merge into the impersonal Brahman
is temporary,
as
eventually they fall down.
As mentioned, they fall down.
Since they don't know about serving Krishna.
Since they don't know about serving Krishna.
They only know about the material world.
They only know about the material world.
So they engage again in material activities.
So they engage again in material activities.
Philanthropy or other things.
Philanthropy and other things.
All the devotees of Krishna are actually able to reside in the Vaikuntha Lokas.
While devotees of Krishna are actually able, they reside in Vaikuntha Lokas.
And they never fall down.
And they never fall down. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.131.
শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতে 10:2-32.
ये अन्येरविन्दाक्ष विमुक्तमानिनस् त्वय्यस्थभावादविशुद्धबुद्धया आरुह्यकृच्छ्रेण परं पदं तथा पतन्त्यथोनद्य सुष्मादङ्घ्रया.
O lotus-eyed one, those who think they are liberated in this life but are without devotional service to you are of impure intelligence. Although they accept severe austerities and penances and rise to the spiritual position to impersonal Brahman realization, they fall down again because they neglect to worship your lotus feet. Purport: this is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.32.
This confirms how the Jnana Yoga and personal realization is temporary.
This confirms how the Jnana Yoga in personal realization is temporary.
Because eventually they fall down again.
Because, as mentioned, they fall down again.
eventually.
Eventually, they fall down again. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.132.
শ্রীমদ্ ভগবদ গীতা 18:54।
ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा न शोचति न काङ्क्षति समसर्वेषु भूतेषु मद्भक्तिं लभते पराम्।
One who is thus transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. Purport. This is a quotation from the Bhagavad Gita 18.54.
So, it glorifies your devotional service to Krishna.
So this glorifies pure devotional service to Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.133.
ভক্তি রসামৃত সিন্ধু 3:44 ধৃত বিল্লমঙ্গল বাক্য।
अद्वैत वीथि प्रतीक्षैरुपस्य स्वानन्द सिंहासन लब्ध दीक्षा सथेन केनापि वयं हृतेन दासीकृता गोपवधूवितेन।
Although I was worshipped by those on the path of monism and initiated into self-realization through the yoga system, I have nonetheless been forcibly turned into a maidservant by some cunning boy who is always joking with the gopis. Purport. This is a verse written by Bilva Mangala Thakur.
Mangala Thakur explained how he became fixed devotional service to Krishna.
Bilva Mangala Thakur explains how he became fixed in devotional service to Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.134.
প্রাপ্ত স্বরূপ ভক্তের চিদানন্দ দেহে কৃষ্ণ ভজন। ভক্তি বলে প্রাপ্ত স্বরূপ দিব্য দেহ পায়, কৃষ্ণ গুণাকৃষ্ট হইয়া ভজে কৃষ্ণ পায়।
One who has attained his constitutional position by the strength of devotional service attains a transcendental body even in this lifetime. Being attracted by Lord Krishna's transcendental qualities, he fully engages in service at his lotus feet.
This explains how one can be liberated while living and achieve such a body in this lifetime.
So this explains how by devotional service one can become liberated even while living in this body. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.135.
দশবিধ লক্ষণের অন্যতম নিরোধ ও মুক্তির কারণ। শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতের 2:6।
निरोधोऽस्यानुशयनम् आत्मनः सह शक्तिभिः मुक्तिर्हित्वान्यथा रूपम् स्वरूपेण व्यवस्थितिः।
The living entities and other potencies merge into Mahavishnu as the Lord lies down and winds up, destroys the cosmic manifestation. Liberation means being situated in one's eternal, original form after giving up the changeable, gross, and subtle bodies. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 2.10.6.
At the end of the material universe,
At the end of the material universes,
Mahavishnu brings in all the living entities into his body.
Mahavishnu brings in all the living entities into his body.
And those who are liberated, they achieve their transcendental form and go to the Vaikuntha planets.
Those who are liberated achieve their transcendental form and go to the Vaikuntha planets.
highest planet is Krishna.
And the highest planet is Krishna Loka.
Those who are not liberated, they enter into the Mahavishnu body and they come out again at the next creation.
And those who are not liberated, they enter into Mahavishnu's body and come out in the next creations. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 24.136.
মায়ারও ভগবান ছায় কৃষ্ণ বৈমুখ কৃষ্ণ সেবায় বা কৃষ্ণ মুক্তায় মায়া মুক্তি বহির্মুখ দোষ মায়া হইতে হয় কৃষ্ণ উন্মুখী ভক্তি হইতে মায়া মুক্তি হয়.
By opposing Krishna consciousness, one becomes conditioned and fearful due to the influence of Maya. By executing devotional service faithfully, one is liberated from Maya.
So if they are opposed to serving Krishna and devotional service,
So if we are opposed to serving Krishna and devotional service,
they become conditioned by Maya.
we become conditioned by Maya.
However, if we are faithfully executing our devotional service to Lord Krishna,
However, if we are faithfully executing our devotional service to Lord Krishna,
and then we can be liberated from Maya.
then we can become liberated from Maya. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 24.137.
শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতে 11:2-37.
अयं द्वितीया विनिवेशथा स्यात् ईशादपेतस्य विपर्ययो स्मृतिः तन्माययातो बुध आभजेतं भक्त्यैकयेशं गुरुदेवतात्मा.
When the living entity is attracted by the material energy, which is separated from Krishna, he is overpowered by fear. Because he is separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the material energy, his conception of life is reversed. In other words, instead of being the eternal servant of Krishna, he becomes Krishna's competitor. This is called Viparyayo Smriti. To nullify this mistake, one who is actually learned and advanced worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead as his spiritual master, worshipable deity, and source of life. He thus worships the Lord by the process of unalloyed devotional service. Purport. This verse is quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.2.37.
In the material world, our condition, trying to thinking that we're the body, trying to enjoy the senses.
In the material world, we are conditioned. We are thinking we are the body and we are trying to enjoy our senses.
And devotional service, we're trying to please transcendental senses of Lord Krishna.
But in devotional service, we are trying to please the transcendental senses of Lord Krishna.
Thus, we become liberated from fear and Maya.
And thus we become liberated from fear and Maya.
Well, that's why the rendering devotional service is highly recommended.
That's why rendering devotional service is highly recommended. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 24.138.
শ্রীমদ্ ভগবদ গীতায় 7:14.
दैवीहेषा गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्यया माम् एव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायाम् एतां तरन्ति ते.
This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Purport. This is a quotation from the Bhagavad Gita 7.14.
So it's very difficult to overcome material illusory energy.
So it is very difficult to overcome material illusionary energy.
Through Bhakti Yoga, one surrenders to Lord Krishna.
But through Bhakti Yoga, one surrenders to Lord Krishna.
By His mercy, one can easily cross over this material ocean of birth and death.
By His mercy, one can easily cross over this ocean of material birth and death. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.139.
বলেই মুক্তি মুক্তি বিনা মুক্তি নাহি ভক্তে মুক্তি হয়
One does not attain liberation without rendering devotional service. Liberation is attained only by devotional service.
Only by pure devotion you get real liberation.
As you heard, only by pure devotion you can get real liberation.
Without devotional service, everything is temporary.
Without devotional service, everything is temporary. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.140.
শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতে 10:14-4
श्रेयस्त्रिभक्तिमुदस्य ते विभो क्लिश्यन्ति ये केवलबोधलब्धये तेषामसौ क्लेशलयेव शिष्यते नान्यद्यथास्थूलतुषुवगरतम्.
My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the only auspicious path. If one gives it up simply for speculative knowledge, or the understanding that these living beings are spirit souls and the material world is false, he undergoes a great deal of trouble. He only gains troublesome and inauspicious activities. His actions are like beating a husk that is already devoid of rice. His labor becomes fruitless. Purport. This is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.4.
This verse explains how only liberation can be achieved by pure devotional service to Lord Krishna.
This verse explains how only liberation can be achieved by pure devotional service to Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.141.
শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতে 10:32
येरविन्दाक्षविमुक्तमानिनस् त्वय्यस्तभावादविशुद्धबुद्धया आरुह्य कृत्स्रेण परं पदं तथा पतन्त्यदो अनादृतयुष्मादङ्ग्रया.
O lotus-eyed one, those who think they are liberated in this life, but are without devotional service to you, are of impure intelligence. Although they accept severe austerities and penances, and rise to the spiritual position to impersonal Brahman realization, they fall down again because they neglect to worship your lotus feet. Purport. This is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.2.32.
The impersonalists think that liberated.
The impersonalists think that they are liberated.
I think that also God.
They think that they are also God.
And this offensive mentality, they again fall down.
But by this offensive mentality, they again fall down. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.142.
শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতে 11:5-3
य एषां पुरुषं साक्षात् आत्मप्रभवमीश्वरं न भजन्त्यवजानन्ति स्थानात् भ्रष्टा पतन्त्यथा.
If one simply maintains an official position in the four varnas and ashramas, but does not worship the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he falls down from his puffed up position into a hellish condition. Purport. This is also a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.3.
This so-called varnashram, without devotion to Vishnu, is not successful.
This shows how Varnashram without devotion to Lord Vishnu is not successful. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.143
মুক্ত হইয়া কৃষ্ণ ভক্তি তবে মুক্তি পাইলে অবশ্য কৃষ্ণ ভজয়।
When one is actually liberated by executing devotional service, he always engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord.
Real liberation is by rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna.
Real liberation is by rendering devotional service to Lord Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.144
শ্রীমদ্ ভাগবতে 10:87-21 শ্লোকে শ্রীধর ধৃত সর্বজ্ঞ ভাষ্যকার ব্যাখ্যা ও নৃসিংহ আপনিতে 2-5 শ্লোক।
विग्रहं कृत्वा भगवन्तं भजन्ति।
Even a liberated soul merged in the impersonal Brahman effulgence is attracted to the pastimes of Krishna. He thus installs a deity and renders the Lord's service. Purport: this is a quotation from Sankaracharya's commentary on the Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad.
This shows how Krishna and his transcendental pastimes and qualities
This shows how Lord Krishna and his transcendental pastimes and qualities
can even attract those who are absorbed in impersonal realization.
can even attract to those who are absorbed in the impersonal realization. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila 24.145
পূর্বোক্ত সর্ববিধি আত্মারামের কৃষ্ণ ভজন। এই ছয় আত্মারাম কৃষ্ণের ভজয় পৃথক পৃথক চকারে ইহা অপির অর্থ কয়।
These 6 kinds of Atmaramas engage in the loving service of Krishna. The varieties of service are indicated by adding cha, and they also bear the meaning of api, indeed. Purport: there are 6 kinds of Atmaramas: the neophyte student, sadhaka, one who is absorbed in Brahman realization, Brahma Maya, one who has already attained the Brahman position, Prapta Brahmalaya, one who desires to be liberated, Mumukshu, one who is liberated even in this life, Jivan Mukta, and one who is self-realized,
Prapta Swarupa.
Prapta Swarupa.
These 6 kinds of Atmaramas
So these 6 kinds of Atmaramas
are described by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
are described by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And the highest type of liberation is achieved by the Krishna Bhaktas.
The highest type of liberation is achieved by the Krishna Bhaktas. Thus ends the chapter entitled 6 Kinds of Atmaramas under the section The 61 Explanations of the Atmarama Verse.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.